You're listening to Science for Soundness, the podcast. This is not your usual podcast. This is a journey, and as with any journey, I don't know yet where this one is going. If anything, I'm hoping to inspire you to take the first step, even if it's into the unknown, even if you don't know where you're going and you do it scared. Hi, I'm Steffi. I'm an equine scientist and equine therapist. I've made it my mission to support horse owners on their individual journey of horse-human connection and personal growth. I want you to know that I'm with you on this one. Think of me as a friendly voice, a reminder to stay the course, to keep going, keep listening to yourself and to your horse, even when the going gets tough. Let's do this. Friend, I'm so glad you're here with me today. This one is from the heart, truly, and in so many ways as well. I don't know about you, but when I started out as a horse owner, this would have really helped me, I think. So here we go. The pressure. It's oh so real. I've touched on this in our first chat, but holy guac, the pressure can get intense in the horse world. Heck, your feedback to my first ever podcast episode was overwhelming and beautiful, and I actually now too feel a bit of pressure. And I'm laughing a bit as I'm saying this, but I mean it. Let's start today by looking at a few things that can create pressure for us horse owners. And the first one I'm going to go with is financial pressure. Because friend, I don't even think I need to say any more on this one, but the financial pressure can be compounded by unexpected expenses such as vet bills or equipment repairs. You know, we all love that saddle that doesn't fit anymore and needs selling and we need to get a new one. We all love that. So I think you feel this one. But there are so many more pressures. So let's go on with time pressure. Time pressure can actually impact your personal but also professional lives, as well as your overall well-being. The daily demands of caring for a horse can be physically but also emotionally taxing, and they actually may require you to make sacrifices in other areas of your life. I don't know about you, but I have heard from multiple people that I spend more time with my horses than with them. And apparently this means that I don't even care, when in fact, well, duh, I do care. Probably a bit too much, but maybe you feel this one. Keeping horses healthy can be a significant challenge. As we all know, horses are prone to a range of health issues. So as owners, we must be vigilant in monitoring their health and taking preventative measures such as vaccinations or parasite control or hay analysis, pasture management, and so much more, just to ensure their overall well-being. Training and competing with horses can be a rewarding experience for some people, but it also comes with its own set of pressures. You may feel pressure to excel in competitions or achieve certain training goals, which can be stressful and time-consuming, especially when things go sideways. Let's not forget peer pressure within the horse community. It can be intense, with owners feeling pressure to conform to certain practices or participate in specific events. This pressure can be challenging for us, especially if you have different priorities or perspectives than other people in your horse community. And I'm not even getting into the whole world of social media here. That in itself would probably fill an entire podcast. Maintaining a horse's physical appearance is important for many owners, as it can impact the horse's health and well-being, but also the overall value. So if you have an expensive sports horse, of course you want to keep it fit and healthy and in shape. But this pressure, it can be compounded by societal expectations and norms, which can be difficult to navigate, especially if you're a new horse owner and you may be less experienced. Emotional pressure can be a significant aspect of horse ownership, as horses are often viewed as beloved companions or family members, which they should be. But this pressure, it can be amplified by the responsibility of caring for an animal that is dependent entirely on the owner for its survival and well-being, coupled with all the other external pressures on top. Phew. And you know what I found? Horse behavior in itself can be a source of pressure because it can be unpredictable and challenging to navigate or even manage, especially when horses exhibit dangerous behaviors and owners are overwhelmed or inexperienced to work with this. This pressure can be compounded by the potential risk to both the horse and the owner, which can then be a stressful and anxiety-inducing experience. I've actually met people who are scared to do a specific task around or with their horses because they've had a really bad and dangerous and traumatic experience that was potentially life-threatening to them. So it's no surprise there. And let's not forget, managing a horse's social relationships can be a complex and challenging aspect of this whole horse ownership thing. You must be mindful of your horse's social needs and preferences and work hard to prevent conflicts or social isolation. So we try to pick the best possible stable with the most harmonious herd, and then things can still go sideways. And finally, something that has shaken me recently, but it's also a super important aspect of horse ownership, yet creating even more pressure. And that is making difficult decisions related to your horse's care or well-being. That can be so emotionally taxing for us owners, but these decisions need to be made. It just may be in general something like your horse's health and well-being and the care that involves, but it could also be weighing your horse's needs against your own desires and resources. And that also can impact the horse's quality of life and future prospects. So it's a big deal. I think, personally, topics like euthanasia should be considered well before it's a matter of life or death and you have no more choice. Oof. Okay. We've covered quite some ground there already, but I want us to go back a bit, go back to the start, because I guess where I'm going with this is I find incredible how much pressure is put upon horse owners right from that very start. Because everyone has a bloody opinion. Everyone knows better. Everyone is playing with their ego, and often people fail to see what this should really be about. It's two individuals forming some type of a connection. This can be different for everyone because, surprise, we're all different. And thank fuck for that, by the way. So you choose your horse, or even earlier than that, you purely begin to think about finding yourself an equine friend. And then all of a sudden, there are a gazillion people pitching their own preferred breed, age, personality, look, way of riding, method, feeding regimes, stabling situation, and so much more to you. They know best for you. And in the end, you might be surprised because there are actually 12 reasons why you should get a donkey instead. So you make a choice, maybe you make an educated or inspired guess, and then it all continues. And I've honestly been pondering about the fact that people feel so drawn to give you their opinions on what you should do, when often they fail to look at their own stuff, their own horses even, their own messes, because it's easy to point a finger and make someone else feel bad for the things that actually annoy us on ourselves in the first place. By pointing our finger at somebody else, we don't need to look at ourselves. Simples. My guess is you're not finding yourself an equine friend in order to try and kill it from the making bad choices thing at the start, because I think you mean well. I'm actually guessing you're trying to get this right from the start. And honestly, I've been through it. I've made some bad choices and then tried to learn from them and make better ones. And that's called trial and error, my friend. It's a process and it's messy and we all go through it continuously, and that's okay, right? If you know me, then you know I'm all about honesty and authenticity with horses and humans, and I'm actually quite annoyed with the fact that we're given this impression of getting it right or wrong. Everything's always black or white, when in fact we're actually leaving out a whole lot of grey in that middle. That grayscale, that messy middle ground, it's so beautiful. It's chaotic, annoyingly slow, and then again, incredibly fast-paced at times. It's black and it's white, yes, but it's certainly everything in between. If anything, only you and your horse can make out where you are on that grayscale. Only you know where you want this to go. It's important to remember that every horse and every owner is unique. Don't feel pressure to conform to others' expectations or to follow a particular training or management approach. Trust your instincts and do what feels right for you and for your horse. It's such a bizarre expectation to get it right from the start, to be flawless and to do things a certain way and never change direction, when in fact, you are absolutely allowed to change direction. You're allowed to reassess and to analyze and to try out and to validate. And yes, many training methods will work because they work on specific aspects, but there is only one you, only one of your horse. And I think it is so bloody important to keep that individuality, to listen to that inner voice, that feel, that intuition. So if you're someone who never wants to actually ride a horse, but keep them happy, fit, and healthy from the ground, that's great. If you want to learn how to ride advanced movements with your horse, that's wonderful. If you only want to hack out, that's wonderful. If you want to keep horses and donkeys for the pure joy of it, that is beautiful. All I'm saying is trust the process. Trust that you will find yourself exactly on the journey that you wish to head on, because it's your journey. I'm not saying ignore all the facts and science and do whatever the heck you want, no matter the cost or consequence, but I guess I am kind of saying that at the same time. At least as long as your horse is kept happy and healthy at all cost. Okay, no jeopardizing that. The journey of horse ownership, of starting to lean into this process, this whole horse-human connection thing, it's actually also a lot about you. Surprise. But I've already mentioned that it all starts and ends with you. You're the main go-to person for your horse. You're the primary caregiver. You're responsible. It's you. So do listen to all those opinions by all means. Allow some of that pressure, but please, only do this to find out where you want to head, not to please everyone else. If you're presented with a new tool, a new method, or anything of the like, the first thing you can do is ask yourself a few questions. We've actually already gone through these in the previous episode, but in case you just hopped on for this one, the 4 questions are: is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it helpful? If anything, and I literally mean anything in your body feels like a no, in your system feels like a no, then don't go there. Don't try it out. Don't use the equipment. Don't apply the method. You get what I'm saying? Trust that wisdom of your body there. Please use your intuition to tune in and make choices that are a yes instead. And once that's done, you can take it one step further. Your horse will be the best mirror you could possibly imagine. You get everything reflected back at you, literally everything. If you are open to listen, you will see and hear and be shouted at actually. If you had a tough day at work, if you have an unstable upper body, if you're standing in the wrong place whilst you're lunging, if you use your hands too much, if this whole thing is a painful experience for your horse, if you have unfitting equipment, a lack of security on your part, or you're using too much energy, you get the idea. You get everything reflected back at you. Celebrate the unique bond that you share with your horse. This relationship is unlike any other, and it's something to cherish and cultivate. Don't be afraid to explore new ways of connecting with your horse and discovering what works best for you both. Owning a horse is a journey, and it's important to embrace the ups and the downs that come with it. Don't be discouraged by setbacks and challenges, but instead view them as opportunities to learn and grow. I guess where I'm going with this is learn to be grounded in yourself and build up your theoretical and practical knowledge so that you can choose whether or not you want to take all those ideas of other people on board. If that pressure is even worth it, trust yourself and your horse. No one knows your horse better than you do, and your intuition can be such a powerful guide in your journey as a horse owner. Trust those instincts. And obviously everything you've learned. Remember that progress takes time and there are no shortcuts on this journey of horse ownership. Be patient and persistent and celebrate the small victories along the way. Every step forward is a win. Every step back also allows you to reassess and redo things. Your goals may change continuously, which is also fine. And above all, friend, trust in the journey and the process of this whole horse ownership business. It's supposed to be something that brings you joy, that lights you up, that energizes you. But horses, much like all breathing sentient beings, will have their own struggles and demons to deal with. So things can get tough. Try to embrace the challenges and uncertainties as much as the fun stuff. I know this sounds hard, but they are all part of that adventure. You and your horse are on this journey together, and there is no one right way to get there. Finally, always remember that your horse is more than just a possession or a hobby. And if you're following me, then I'm pretty sure you are aware of that. But they are a living, breathing, sentient being, and they deserve nothing but your love, respect, and by respect I mean consideration, and your care. As long as you keep that at the forefront of your mind, everything else will fall into place somehow. And I think it is so important to give yourself the grace to get things wrong and be messy at times. Go play on that grayscale. Take some of that pressure off by realizing and remembering that we all need to actually practice something a few more times than once in order to feel safe with it ourselves. So go and do that. Go do whatever it takes for you to feel grounded in yourself, and you can absolutely ask for help. You got this. Hi friend, I hope you found something in this episode that resonated with you. I'm beyond grateful that you hung out with me today for a little while, and I do hope that you come along for the ride. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, and if you feel like it, leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. If you have any questions or would like me to talk about a certain topic, check the show notes for ways to get in touch. I can't wait for next time. You got this.